So, Hare Krishna, Leho, Lebohang Prabhu,
Lebohang Prabhu Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Tamara Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada, Hare Krishna.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome to the reading session.
Prabhu.
Welcome to the reading session. Very glad,
Oh,
very
thank
happy to have you
oh,
here.
I'm very humbled, sir. I'm very humbled. Thank you for having me here.
Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very
Jai
happy.
Shri Prabhupada, thank you.
It's the tag Vivek Prabhu because he's not arrived yet. Okay, here we go. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamahyam Darati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapatakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahaganaragunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bando Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhu Pyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashattare Shatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Okay, so
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
at the moment we are reading this book of Dialectic Spiritualism, a Vedic view of Western philosophy. It is a compilation of Prabhupada's conversation with Soma Sundar Das and Hayagriv Das about all Vedic philosophers. They go one by one, and Soma Sundar and Hayagriv present the philosophy. They'll kind of like act as the philosopher, and they present the arguments, and Prabhupada answers them. So that is the topic of this book. At the moment, we are at the, I think this was Kant or Hume. These are already some modern philosophies. So yes, let's continue from here. And we always read like 1 or 2 pages. Page ends like here, and 1 or 2 pages, and then anyone can always continue the reading. Hare Krishna, Vivek Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Tamara Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. You are ready.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
It was just in time, Prabhu. That's really nice. Nice timing. Who wants to start?
Haribol. Can I start?
Yes, Prabhu. Let's see.
Thank you.
I think we were here.
Here? Okay. Oh, just 1 second. Shamashundara. That's how is that? Srila Prabhupada, we receive information from Srimad Bhagavatam that because this material space is also Akasha, it is born of the finer, subtle mind and intelligence. These description are given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Space is also created. Uma, okay, had said that cause and effect Hume, okay, are habitual assumption um, that we naturally assume that a certain effect follow um, certain cause, that but that the cause does not necessarily bring about the effect. We don't agree with that. There cannot be an effect without a cause. Let him prove first that there is an existence without a cause. Well, Hume have the example of a footprint footprint on a beach. Normally, we can assume that a human being left the footprint. Why normally assume? If it is actually there, it is a fact. Possibly something else left the footprint. Someone could have made a cast of a foot, or some other possibility may exist. That is nonsense. Why should someone make a footprint to mislead you? But even if he does, that is the cause. The cause is that someone came to mislead you. Kant would say that when we see something, we intuitively understand the cause and effect relationship. You may or may not understand what cause is, but there must be a cause. Without a cause, nothing can happen. People foolishly inquire when or why the living entity fell into material nature. But what is the use of this question? There is certainly a cause, but instead of trying to find out the cause, we should try to treat the disease. Why waste time? Kant concludes that because the mind imposes a priori laws upon nature as both necessary and universal, the mind is creative and does not come into the world of a blank slate. It is a fact that the mind is creative. It creates and then rejects. That is the mind's business. Samkalpa vikalpa. Kant would say that apart from using the categories of thought, like quantity, quality, cause and effect, and modality, there is only mere guesswork and imperfect dogma. The mind is not satisfied with this partial explanation. It wants to grasp reality in a comprehensive way. The mind wants to know something beyond these categories, and this is the realm of transcendental dialectic. dialectic. This inquisitiveness is actual philosophy. We are searching for the cause of all causes. A thoughtful man is naturally interested in the ultimate cause of everything, that is human nature. It is the Mahatma who searches after the ultimate cause and find it. The Vedanta Sutra therefore begins with the inquiry, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. What is the ultimate cause? What is the Brahman? It answers, Janmad Yasya Yataha. Brahman is the supreme source from whom everything emanates. Unless we go to the supreme source, we cannot be satisfied. Those who approach this source through mental speculation attain the impersonal feature. From this point, they can make further advancement in Ishopanishad. There is prayer petitioning the supreme. Ilanmayen pratlena satya shapihitam mukham tatvam pusam apablinu satya damaya drishtaye. O my Lord, sustainer of all life, all that life, your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Please remove that covering and reveal yourself to your pure devotee. Upanishad 15. If we penetrate this impersonal Brahman, we will arrive at Krishna and then be satisfied. Therefore, it is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Jananam Jamanam Ante Jnanavamam Pratpajate. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. After many birth and death, he who actually in knowledge surrenders in unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Bhagavad Gita 7:19. Kant said that after the futile attempt to apply categorical analysis to transcendental knowledge, a man attempts to create other ideas about the universe which transcend sense experience. In other words, after failing to attain material knowledge, he attempts to attain transcendental knowledge. What is this? Rather, he failed to understand transcendental knowledge when applying the techniques of material knowledge. This means that he cannot approach transcendental knowledge with material senses. If this is not possible, how can he hope to form valid idea about transcendence? Through pure reason, he admits that the material senses cannot reach transcendence, but he is not clear about the meaning of his pure reason. If the senses are imperfect, and if your reasoning is fed by senses, your reasoning is also imperfect. Kant maintained that reason can act a priori, separate, or independent of the senses to understand that there is God and a soul. That is possible. In fact, Kant recognized three ideals of pure reason: the soul, the ultimate world, and God. These ideas transcend the bounds of sensory experience. They are innate and a priori. That is also true. Nitya Siddha Krishna Plema Satya Kabu Naya. Shlavanadi Shubda Chitte Kalaye Udaya. Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the heart of living entities. It is not something to be gained from another source. When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, the living entity naturally awakens. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 22, 107. Very nice verse.
Yes, Prabhu. I've been trying to explain this thing, but I didn't know there is a direct verse about it.
It is not something to be gained from another source. I think we should begin to read also the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yes, Prabhu. I will read it after about.
Because we getting late for those things. There are so many verses
Yes, Prabhu.
sometimes in quote by Prabhupada.
I'm thinking what other categories could go in. Why need to... Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of the living entities. It is not something to be gained from. One second, what is it?
Too much.
Yes, it was just in my mind. This goes in one other place also. When the heart is purified, it goes to chanting. Ribu. Sometimes I put them to two places so I can find them.
Yes, yes.
I did to two. Ribu. Okay, we can continue.
Yes. It is our natural tendency to offer service to the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also said that the living entity is called eternal servant. The tendency to offer service is natural. Somehow or other, it has been covered by material ignorance. Whereas science perception cannot provide any information about the soul and God, pure reason can provide us with certain conception, but not much more. We cannot know more by our personal attempt, but this subject can be known by a process called Guru Parampara. When God speaks, it is possible to know. We hear from God in order to understand what, who, and where He is. In this way, our knowledge is perfect. According to Kant, we cannot attain reality or God through reason and the senses. That is a fact admitted in the Veda. The word Vachanam means words, and Manaha means mind. We cannot reach the supreme either by words or the mind. Kant suggests that certain knowledge of God's existence would destroy a man's freedom and reduce human experience to a show of puppets frantically uh, tempting to attain the favor of all the Almighty. Thus, uncertainty is a necessary ingredient of faith. Faith should not be blind. If it is useless. We may believe in the government, but the government is not dependent on faith. There is a government, and we are under the government law, and therefore have to obey them. There is no question of faith. Similarly, one who knows God become dependent on Him, and that is not faith, but fact. The devotee is happy depending on God. He knows that it is foolishness to think himself independent. Child voluntarily depend on his parents and is therefore happy. Yes, I want to stop here. If someone want to read, thank you very
Oh, I
much.
can read for you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for reading.
I,
Yes,
I can read.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, can I start there since?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Since our knowledge is limited, sorry. Let me just change. Okay, since our knowledge is limited to mere phenomena, faith is necessary to acquire knowledge of God, freedom, and immortality. No faith is not a fact, but a compromise. It is good. It is good that he admits that we cannot approach God unlimitedly by our sense or reason. But faith alone also is not sufficient, not perfect. Western philosophers have created so many different faiths. One may believe in one faith and another person is another. But this is faith, not fact. The fact is this: if we are convinced that there is a God and that he is omnipotent, we have to admit that by his omnipotency, he can descend into the world. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that he descends into the world for two reasons: to rectify discrepancies in religion, and to please his devotees who are always anxious to see him. Some people may say that God is partial, but he is not. God is kind both to his devotees and to the miscreants and demons. When the miscreants, I think, when the miscreants are killed by God, they attain immediate salvation. And when the devotees see God, They can understand his actual position. In Vrindavan, God displays himself just as he does in the spiritual world. It is his nature to play with the cowherd boys and dance with the gopis. When the devotees understand this, they become encouraged by knowing that after finishing the material body, they will return to Krishna to join his pastimes. This information is not only understood from the Shastras, but it is actually demonstrated by Krishna. Thus, this knowledge is doubly confirmed. When we hear about God and his activities, we can also realize them because God is absolute. There is no difference between seeing him and hearing about him. In this way, true knowledge is attained. Expect a logician one may be, it is not possible by reason, logic, or mundane knowledge to approach the supreme absolute. It is possible to understand God only when he descends himself, gives information about himself, and display his pastimes. Srimad Bhagavatam is a chronicle of the descendants of God. If we try to understand God through Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, we can become a Bhagavata. In Bhagavad Gita, God speaks about himself and his activities, and Srimad Bhagavatam is a record of God's activities and pastimes. The first nine cantos are devoted to the understanding of the transcendental nature of God, and the 10th canto is a chronicle of God's activities before the eyes of the people of the world. However, those who are miscreants will think that God is just a famous person or a superhuman being, and that's all. I agree. That's concerning religion and faith. Kant writes, there is only one true religion, but there can be faiths of several kinds. It is therefore more fitting to say, this man is of this or that faith, Jewish, Mohammedan, Catholic, Lutheran, then he is of this or that religion. That is correct. Since religion means obeisance to God, it is not referred to some sect. People are trying to understand God in different ways, but these ways are not real religion. They are methods of understanding God. Religion begins when we have understood God and are rendering him service. In what is that? In critique of practical reason, Chanti affirmed that moral laws are necessary and universal objects of the human will and must be accepted as valid for everyone. We can know what is moral right a prior by intuition. Intuition. No morality is relative. It varies according to the development of a particular society. For instance, there are many immoral acts taking place in moral societies, but no one cares. People go ahead and act as they please. Then there is no universal morality. Universal morality means obeying God. That's all. But are any of God's law fixed? All laws are included if you obey God. If you obey God, that is universal morality. Okay, I'm not good at reading Sanskrit, but I think I can try.
Yes, bro.
Mana bhava bhakto madi gyani namak shrukuru mam evaisyasi satyam te prajani priyosi me. Can you reread it correctly, Prabhu, or should I continue?
Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evaisyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me.
Oh, thank you, Prabhu. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. This is the basis of morality. We must become Krishna's serviator, since so many immoral activities are being accepted as moral. How else can a person know what is moral and what is not? For Kanti writes, for a rational but finite being, the only thing possible is an endless program from the lower to the higher degrees of moral perfection. This means that there is an endless struggle to understand real morality. This is not necessary. We need only accept the orders of God and follow them. That is ultimate reality. What Kanti means by morality is rather vague. He does not give specific outlines for action. Rather, he writes the moral in individual. It is to do what is good only because it is good. According to his categorical imperative, men should act in such a way that the maxim of his actions might become the principles of for universal law. But that is impossible for the individual soul. It is impossible for a conditioned living entity to do something that will be universally accepted. Then man cannot establish a universal law by his own action. No, no, only God can do so. Only God can say, Sarva Dharman Praityaja Mam Ekam. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. If an individual conditioned soul says this is who will accept him. But Kanti says there are certain imperatives that we are born with. What are these? He should say specifically the only universal imperative is that you should be obedient to God. That's all. Kanti rejects the traditional proofs of God's existence in order to clear the ground for his ascension that God is moral necessary in a moral universe. In this universe, every soul is an end in itself, and these individual souls are like citizens in a kingdom of ends. Why does he use the word kingdom if he does not accept the king? No, he would say that the king's is a moral necessity in a moral universe. He simply rejects the traditional proofs. That's all right, but he sees the individual souls as end in themselves. There is no question of such independence because everything is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. God is behind nature, and if our morality denies the existence of God, what is its value? One man may think that animal killing is good, while another may think that it is immoral. So who is correct? There must be some authority to establish morality. Morality must have background, otherwise it will change at any moment. Kanti also writes, it does not enter man's head that when they fulfill their duty to men, themselves and others, they are by these very acts performing God's commands and are therefore in all. Their actions and absentations, so far as these concern morality, perpetually in the service of God, and that is absolutely impossible to serve God directly in any other way. If man does not serve God, how can he know how to serve humanity if he does not receive information from God about how to serve humanity? What is the value of his humanitarianism? The best way to serve mankind is to preach this message of Bhagavad Gita so that everyone can become a faithful servant of God. When we are God's servants, we can render service not only to our fellow men but to all our living entities as well. However, if we manufacture our service, it is useless. In the preface to one of his last works, Religion Within the Limits of Reason Alone, Chant seems to shift his position to say that morality extends itself to the idea of a powerful moral lawgiver outside of mankind. Still, he believes that knowledge of God is ultimately uncertain. It is uncertain for one who does not have perfect knowledge. If you believe in God and know God, you can get perfect knowledge from him. Then you'll become perfect. Ideally, for Chant, it is the moral obligation of everyone to obey the moral commands. No moral commands, but the supreme commands. As I said, what is moral for you may be immoral for others. One man's food is another's poison. If Krishna tells you Yudhishthara, think like something like that, ne Prabhu? Yudhishthira to lie, that lying is moral. Krishna tells Arjuna to fight and kill, and that killing it is moral. Morality means obeying God's order because your senses are imperfect. You cannot create morality. You cannot even know what is moral. Therefore, you should follow the orders of Krishna or his representative. The the real categorical imperative is to obey the supreme. That is moral, and anything else is immoral. Then we are not born with a prior knowledge of what is right. A prior in the sense that we know we have to obey Krishna. That knowledge is manifest even in uncivilized man. When aborigines sees a thunderbolt, they offer prayers. It is natural and inborn to offer obeisances. Chant says that it is not the act itself which is good or bad, but the will behind the act. Yes, but that will has to be developed. A child has will, but it has to be developed by his teacher. Everyone in the material world is in ignorance. Therefore, it is called a place of darkness. The Vedas advise, don't remain in darkness. Go to the light. The spiritual world is light. In the material world, since our will is in darkness, it is bound to imperfect. The will it is bound to be imperfect. The will has to be dragged to the light, and that requires superior help. We cannot think I am doing this for a good cause, therefore it is good. In this way, people manufacture all kinds of creeds and act in every way. Guidance is required. We must consult a superior authority for confirmation. Chant believed that only man can be regarded as nature's own end or highest product, because on earth only man is capable of complying with the categorical imperative, the moral law. But if nature creates man, then nature is supreme. However, nature is only nature is only dull matter. Buri apo nalo vayum kam mano budir evacha ahana kara itiyame bihine prakriti ashtada. The earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these eight compromise my separated material energies. Human beings cannot create these things, nor can nature in itself create them. So how can nature create man? How can man be considered nature's own end or highest product? What is the logic in this philosophy? Chant would say that man is nature's final end, because man's moral nature alone is worthwhile. We object to his emphasizing that man is a product of nature. Nature itself cannot make man. Nature provides the body just as a tailor provides a suit. This body is but the outward covering of the living entity. The living entity within the body is not created by material nature. He is part and parcel of God. Kanti says that man belongs to the kingdom of ends, because man is not just an object of utility, but an end in himself. Since he alone possesses self-direction or dignity, he should never stood to sell himself like a commodity. And what is that end? Chanti does not give any concrete example. Man's dignity is dignity in his inherent quality of obeisance to the supreme. It is that obeisance that we should not sacrifice. We are not independent but subordinate to God's will. Chanti may be a strict moralist, but that is not the highest platform. We have to transcend even the moral principles to attain perfection. There is morality and immorality in the material world because they are the three modes of material nature operating: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Morality is on the platform of goodness. According to the transcendental spiritual point of view, the entire material world is condemned. One may be a first class prisoner or a second class prisoner, a brahmana or a shudra, whatever the case. One is still a conditioned soul, of course. As far as conditional life is concerned, there is value in morality. Morality may help us come to the transcendental platform, but coming to the platform is not dependent on morality. It is independent of everything. Krishna's order is above morality, but might not morality help us see behind the moral law and transcend it? Not necessarily. In the Bhagavad Gita, we find that Arjuna was trying to become moral by not killing his relatives, but that could not help him. Rather, by direct abiding by the orders of Krishna, he transcended morality. So morality in itself does not always help. Kanti spoke of the starry sky above, and the moral law within. This seems to echo Christians' teaching that the kingdom of God is within you. Yes, if you are actually a lover of God and his instructions, the kingdom is his instructions, the kingdom of God is within. Chant proposes that since the moral law cannot possibly be fulfilled within the limits of one lifetime, the soul must be immoral. That is very good proposition. That is real evolution. Darwin had no idea of the existence of the soul, and he gave some theories about material evolution, which we do not accept. But there is spiritual evolution. Even though a devotee falls down, what he has earned in devotional service will never be lost in the next life. He begins from that point. However, as far as material activities are concerned, the Vaishnava, they vanish with the change of body. Chant also proposes that since only God can ensure that human endeavors for the supreme good, God's existence is a necessary postulate of practical reason. We have already explained this. Whatever devotional service is rendered in this life is taken up in the next. Who can give the living entity that chance but God? I may forget, but God does not forget. God is Param Atma. He is within and he knows what the living entity has done to this point. For Chant, the Samam Bonam is virtue combined. With happiness. Happiness is the knowledge of doing what is right. Happiness means spiritual happiness. There is no material happiness because whatever is material is temporary. Since the spirit soul is eternal, he must have spiritual happiness. That happiness is Krishna consciousness. If you know that you are the eternal servant of Krishna and you are serving Krishna, that service is your happiness. Even if your duty is painful, you are still happy because you know that you are acting for Krishna. Chant points out that on earth, happiness does not necessarily accompany goodness. Therefore, there must be a God who sees that a virtuous man finds his deserved happiness in a future life. Without such justice, there would be no meaning to morality. Yes, in the last mantra of Ishopanishad, it is stated, Agni Naya Supata Raya Ashman Vishvani Deva Vayunani Vidvan Yuyodai Asmaji Jumranam enobushittam tenam uktim videme. Can you repeat it? Prabhu? Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, oh my Lord, powerful as fire, omnipotent, one now I offer you all obeisances, falling on the ground at your feet. Oh my Lord, please lead me on the right path to reach you. And since you know all that I have done in the past, please free me from free me from the reactions to the past sins, so that there will be no hindrance to my progress. We should be very sincere in our service to God, so that He will relieve us of the reactions of our karma. Unless there is a supreme, what is the value of morality? Chant would say that in his earthly life, a man should not be motivated towards moral conduct out of any expectations of happiness, but out of a sense of duty or reverences, reverence for the moral law. Yes, that means unmotivated services. It is not that we love Krishna just to receive some benefit. It is our duty that this pure morality, knowing that we are part and parcel of Krishna, we should render service to Krishna without alter alteration motivation. Hey, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Can I please go fetch my mom? I need to fetch her. She's calling now.
Oh, yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much for reading. You read so much. That was really nice.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Come,
Haribo. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
come daily, Prabhu. Come daily.
All glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Yes, Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhu. Please
Come
join in
daily.
the future also.
Prabhu.
You too, guy.
Where are you from, Prabhu?
From South Africa.
Oh,
I
very
forgot what
bold.
country. I forgot.
read?
But Prabhu?
I chant with him every day since 2 weeks now in the morning. He chant at the Brahma Muhurta.
Yes, Prabhu. I also noticed him. He joins us reading during my time
Very,
zone.
very bold. Very bold.
He just came a few weeks ago. Yeah, a few weeks ago.
Oh, we have to say like to join Ishtagoshti Sunday.
Yes, Prabhu.
He want to. I spoke with him, and he want to. I tell him to attend the Stagoshti this Sunday. He said okay. And he already buy a notebook for it.
Oh, Haribo.
He's very, very, very sincere and motivated.
Yes,
Very.
Prabhu.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Very
Read
enthusiastic.
pages. That was nice.
He chant more than 20 rounds every
Oh.
day.
Ah, yes, Prabhu.
Oh,
And he chant in a Brahma Muhurta always.
Yes, he has got the sadhana fever.
Oh yes. We got a new friend.
He's infected. He got the ISCAM disease.
Oh yes, he will get definitely after talking with Prabhu, he will get the fever.
Yes, Prabhu. He's from Africa, Prabhu. I think South.
Oh.
Yeah, South Africa.
Maybe we will get one more continent now. The first center.
Almost every
Slowly we will get.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay,
very bold.
we have 3 pages left. 1, 2.
Can I read it?
You can decide with Vivek, Prabhu, if you share the last pages or how you.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, you can read.
I read one and a
It's
half.
okay, it's okay.
Yes,
You
Prabhu.
can
Yes,
read
Prabhu.
1.5 pages.
Okay, let's do like that.
No,
Thank
no, you can read all. You can read all. If you wish, you can read all.
No, Prabhu, we will share.
Okay, Prabhu, you can start then. Let's see.
Yes. The goal of Kant personal ethics is twofold.
It is a person's duty to attain his own perfection and also to seek happiness of others. Srila Prabhupada, yes, that is Krishna consciousness. A Krishna consciousness man is not happy thinking, I have now contacted Krishna, therefore my business is finished. Other living entities are also part and parcel of Krishna, but due to misguidance, they are not serving him. Consequently, they are not attaining happiness. It is the duty of one who knows Krishna to preach about him out of mercy. Those who are satisfied just attending to their own personal spiritual life are not as highly elevated as those who try to enlighten others. Shyam Sundar Das. Pure practical reason, the free will's ability to choose takes priority over speculative reason or theorizing about reality. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, it is not sufficient to merely understand that there is God. We must render service to God. Our Krishna consciousness movement means supplying knowledge of Krishna. If you are a devotee, you must demonstrate it. My Guru Maharaj therefore condemned those who make a show of being devotees and spend all day and night within closed door chanting Hare Krishna. Sometimes such people smoke and have illicit sex because they are not mature in their devotional service. A neophyte should work for Krishna, otherwise he will simply be show butter. We have to spread Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teachings all over the world. Shyam Sundar Das. Kant concludes that self-realization is superior to mere philosophy. Srila Prabhupada. This Krishna consciousness movement is a practical demonstration of this. Since we know that we are eternal servants of Krishna, we engage in his service. Krishna wants it to be known that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. We may either accept this or not. That is all right with Krishna, but it is our business to inform everyone that Krishna is the supreme Lord and that everyone else is eternal servant. If we enlighten people in this way, we are engaged in Krishna's service. It is not that we go to church and ask God, give us our daily bread. God is giving daily bread to everyone, even to birds and beasts. Therefore, it is not practical to ask for God what he is already supplying. According to our Vaishnava philosophy, we must work for Krishna. We are not theorizing but practicing. Vivek Prabhu can read now.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay,
Thank you.
I agree. As Kant rejected church going as a means to salvation. He states that sensuous representations of God is contra- contrary to the commands of reason. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, etc. Srila Prabhupada, if when someone imagines an image that is not good, an image arises from the imagination. However, it is different to keep a photograph of your beloved. The photograph of your beloved is not imaginary, it is a fact. I agree with us. Although rejecting prayer has an inner formal service to God, Kant believed that uh, it is good to teach children to pray so that in their early years they may accustom themselves to a life pleasing to God. Srila Prabhupada, religion means pleasing God, and that is not reject, re- restricted to children. I agree with us. Concerning the Christian belief in the restoration of the body, Kant writes, for who is so fond of his body that he would wish to drag it about with him through all eternity, or if he could get on without it. Srila Prabhupada. It is natural to want to retain one's body, even though if his life is abominable. A hog will cry when being captured or killed. He does not consider his body to be undesirable, although he is eating stool and living in a filthy, filthy, filthy place. It is natural to want to protect one's body perpetually, regardless of one's condition. This tendency in there because the living entity is eternal and he is anchoring after that eternity. It is a mistake to desire this eternity in a spiritual life. Shamasundara. In his book Eternal Peace, Kant arrests that there can be peace in the world if certain laws are followed. Srila Prabhupada, we often hear that peace can be attained, but it can be attained only when we understand that Krishna is the factual proprietor of everything. We must accept Krishna as our friend and understand that we are not the proprietor of everything. Sorry, anything. We must know that everything belongs to Krishna. If peace is to be region. I agree with us. Concerning government guns rights and ethical commonwealth can be thought of only as a people under divine commands, as a people of God. This would be a commonwealth wherein God would be the lawgiver. Srila Prabhupada. If the king or president and the people abide by the orders of God, the state will be idle. I agree with us. The states would be theocratic in its constitution. However, since priests receives gifts from God directly, they could construct an theocratic government. Srila Prabhupada. A theocratic government is properly outlined in Manu Samhita, given by Manu for the benefit of all human society. Shyamasundar Das Kant believes that there should be a world state in which everyone can participate and a system of international law regulating relationship between various nations or states. Srila Prabhupada. This is also our position, the proposition of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. There is one God and there must be one state. If we can turn the majority of people to Krishna consciousness, they will vote for Krishna consciousness people and they will not be exploited. The principles that we are following individually can be introduced on a large scale. Shyamasundar Das Kant believes that the leaders should follow the moral principles, but he rejects Plato's idea that the philosophers should be kings. Rather, they should serve as advisors only. Then they will be able to exercise good judgment. Srila Prabhupada, that is also the Vedic system. The Brahmanas advises the Kshatriyas. If the Brahmanas are empowered and try to administer, their philosophical quality will be diminished. They should remain free and act only as advisors. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Haribo, thank you so much, Prabhu.
Rivo.
Bro, we continue with this chant.
Okay.
Oh, it's even harder.
John Koti.
Yeah, they always get like this.
Johann Gottlieb.
They don't
He's
look
German.
they don't look so transcendental either often.
Hmm.
Is he German or?
Yes, Prabhu, I think. Where is said? Yes, he's German. He's one of the
Yeah.
like most important philosophers of Germany, it said here.
Yes, yes. I heard of him. Heard of
Hmm.
him.
He's German nationalist. Oh, this will be interesting also.
Oh yes,
Oh.
Gottlieb Fichte. Don't need to go to school. You see, we read Srila Prabhupada book and we become so intelligent.
Yes, Prabhu.
We know about all. You don't waste your time in college or you waste your time. Just read Srila Prabhupada book and everything is explained to you.
Yes. What is the topic for today's this week's Istagoshti, Prabhu? You do you know?
Group discussion or which one?
Group discussion only, Prabhu.
No, Prabhu, I don't know yet because Karti Prabhu didn't decide. He had some idea. What was the idea? Do you remember, Gianni Prabhu? I forgot it. It was about Prabhupada. He had idea if it could be.
Yes. Guru's order more important or Shastra? No, Guru or Shastra, who is more powerful or something like that?
Yes, Prabhu, yes. Yes, I think it was that. So something like that Prabhu was thinking, but he didn't announce it yet.
Okay.
Okay, now let's read 6 Astakam prayers. Cheto darpanamārjanam bhavamahādāvāgni nirvāpanam eyah kairabachandrika vitaranam vidyavādu jivanam anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamritasvadanam sarvatmasnapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Hari Bol, I'm learning it.
Yes, very nice.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
नाम नाम अकारी बहुधा नीत सर्वा सत्तेश तत्र प्रीता नियमिता स्मरणे ना कल्पा एतदृशि स्वौ कृपा भगवान मामापि दुर्दैवम इदर्शम इज्ञानी ननुग्रह.
प्रणादपि सुनिचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुनामानेन मानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरि.
नदनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीशकामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरि भवताद् भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि.
ऐनन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितां मां विषमे भवां बुधौ कृपा तव पादपङ्कजा स्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय.
नैनं गदद अश्रुधारया वादनं गगद हृदया गिरा मूलाकार निश्चितं वापु कदा तव नाम गृहाणे भविष्यति.
युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा पार्वशायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दं विरवे नमे.
अश्लिष्यवा पदरतं पिनाष्टुमं हार्दशनं मालमहतं खलु तुवं यथा तथा विदततुलं पतो मत्प्राणततस्तु सैवनापलहम्.
Oh, glory to
Shishastokam
the
ki jai.
Sri Jai.
जय श्री
Glory to the
राम.
Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to the living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names, like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with the tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
Oh, Govinda, feeling your separations, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace and makes me broken heart by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally.
Haribol, Sri
Sri
Krishna.
Satyam.
Hare Bol.
Ooh. Haribol. We found the Sanskrit. Is this all?
Oh,
Hmm. Yes, now we're gonna read it with Sanskrit.
very nice.
Yes.
No, Prabhu, like actually,
Is it real?
in temple also they will recite in English only,
Ah, okay, okay.
not in so.
Ah, yes, this is like purport. This doesn't seem like translation.
But actually, there is the Sanskrit. It's in Purana, I think. I found it.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, the source was here. It was said, and that's
Yeah. Yes, yes. There is the Sanskrit.
I think it's in that PDF. Words most quoted by Srila Prabhupada. I think that Sanskrit is in it in that book.
Haribol. Let's use the same site. First one, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name.
All over the world.
Yes, Prabhu.
Then next one, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal or independent to the name of the Lord. The name
Haribol. Nice, Prabhu.
Third, it's
third one,
to disobey the order of spiritual master.
considering
Fourth offense, to blaspheme the Vedic
fourth
scriptures
one,
or scriptures in persons to the Vedic version. Okay, fifth one.
to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination.
Haribol.
Haribo. Sixth one,
I don't remember sixth one.
The sixth is to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord.
Yes,
Haribo.
Haribol. Seventh one is to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name.
Eighth one, to consider the chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra to be an auspicious ritualistic activities which is offered in the Vedas as spiritual activities, Karma Kanda.
Haribol.
9-1 is to instruct a faceless person about the glories
yes,
of the
bro.
holy name.
Yes, how I
Haribo.
forgot it. Tenth offense, to not have faith in chanting of the holy name and to maintain materialistic attachments even after understanding so much about the subject matter.
So many instruction on this
Yes,
matter.
open instruction.
Mm.
Yes, Prabhu. And
And
also
it is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna, Prema, Vancha, Kalpatalu, Vercha,
कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः
Tanam, Pavanibhyu, Vaishnavibhyu, Namo Namaha.
वैष्णवेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः पंचतत्व की जय श्री कृष्ण प्रभु की जय नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय शिला प्रभुपद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल
Hri Bol.